Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Thursday morning. That means a visit from Brian Spencer at the fairgrounds. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Seth. How are you?
Very good. And heard there was some good news. Racing Forum article within the past couple of days. Handle up over the past month down at fairgrounds. A little bit of a slow start. But I think after last year, with the way the weather played, it took people a little while maybe to catch up and get back on. But it looks like people are back on board now.
Yeah, and that's really good to see. You know, cautiously optimistic for the remainder of the meet. But you know, just as you said, last year was a little bit tougher, I think, from the off the turf perspective.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of horses to scratches, and you know, maybe just along the way, potentially lost a couple of players. And I think that, you know, people are maybe getting a chance to come back and see some competitive, big fields, great multi-race wagering opportunities. I'm having a lot of fun with it myself this year.
Yeah, I agree. I've certainly been playing. That's one of the tracks I pay attention to in the wintertime, and it's been fun this season. All right, speaking of fun, let's get into this afternoon. First, what's the weather look like for Thursday afternoon?
It looks gorgeous. It's been really nice here for several days in a row, so everything should be all systems go for today.
That's what we like. All right, let's kick things off in the fourth today. Fourth race is a maiden claimer. We have $15,000 to $20,000 tags. They're on the turf at about a mile. Your thoughts on the fourth?
Yeah, going to go outside with the number 9 Last Air. Taking a shot with this barn, the Pavel Veschenko barn. It always feels like a bit of a stab for me because, you know, their horses generally are pretty capable, but sometimes they run, sometimes they don't. That being said, this one coming off of a layoff, debuted at 5.5 furlongs on the Mountaineer main track. Now off of this break comes back with Lasix around 2 turns and on the turf and with a pedigree, you know, Sire Arch out of a Woodman mare. I think at the very least, the 2-turn trip is going to give her a chance to improve. The addition of Lasix could as well, and possibly the turf too.
Right, and we have their second-time starter, adds the Lasix, a little bit of a layoff. But when you're looking at these kind of races, and this one's a little, I always say it's a little bit different when you get to it with maiden claimer. This horse started in a maiden special weight event, but we were looking at horses like this, first-time starters, second-time starters. We talked a little bit about it yesterday also. What are some of the factors you consider most important? Trainer stats with first-time starters? Are you looking for owners who like to get precocious runners? Do you look up the breeding? Or well, with a horse like this who's already had a start under the belt, are you really looking more importantly at what we've seen on the track already?
I'm actually not as concerned about what we've seen on the track so far because I feel like, you know, that $19,000 maiden special at Mountaineer probably, you know, marginally tougher than this, if tougher than this at all, this $20,000 maiden claimer. But, you know, if you look at that running line, she made a little bit of a move after, you know, getting away slowly, and that's something that this barn's horses have sort of a tendency to do. So I think at least with the 2 turns, you know, I think she's got that right to improve. But this barn, you know, gets a lot of works into him. I think this barn pretty good with the layoff runners as a sort of very typical Pavel Veschenko work tab with, you know, 2 works in 3 days, that kind of thing. You know, he'll get her ready. It's just a question of whether she's good enough. All
right, sounds good. 8th race at Fairgrounds today, and I just pulled up the PPs, and I'm going to be looking forward to this one. The 8th race today, a claimer 15 to 17.5 tags. They're going to go about a mile on the turf, and I'll be looking forward to it because Strike Impact is in, owned and trained by our friend Jenny Reese's husband, and so we always like to pay attention when Strike Impact runs. How do you see the 8th?
Yeah, Strike Impact, a real sort of fan favorite. I think a lot of people feel that same way. I did go further outside, though, with the number 9, Splendiferous, who's coming off of a decent enough race. Was 7th, I think ran a little bit better than it looks, was last early on the inside, just sort of hugging the rail, and finished up very nicely, not only in a race where not much else was closing, but in a race that sort of inexplicably turned into a merry-go-round race. There was a decent bit of pace on paper in that spot, and not all of it showed. The splits were not particularly quick. The winner got away with a nearly 26-second middle quarter, and Splendiferous was the only one coming late, 3 for 7 on this turf course. I think with a fair pace here today, second start off the layoff, this guy's got a right to come forward at a nice number.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of class relief today, too.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that last race, you're looking at Ultimo Trego, you're looking at Red Strike. McGahee's Mercy has been a borderline stakes-type horse with Louisiana bred, so I think this easier spot gives him a chance, too.
All right, and finally we'll take a look at the Fairgrounds 9th today. The 9th is a state-bred maiden special weight event. And, you know, we talked about how fun the racing is down there at Fairgrounds, typically during the winter season. And part of it is the state-bred program. They really have a great state-bred program at all the tracks down there at Louisiana. But these are state-bred maidens. They're 3-year-olds. They're going to go a mile. How'd you see the 9th?
There are a couple things I like about the number 2, Who's Talking Now. I liked him last time, thought maybe he would move up on the turf, but he didn't. But 2 starts back, that 6 furlong maiden special weight race, he was away slowly, rallied pretty nicely for third. He was beaten 4 lengths by the winner, Just Kissing Buck, who is a stakes quality type. And last time out, even though he ran sort of up the track in that field of 9, going 5.5 on the turf, he was beaten 11 lengths. The winner, Eating Grace Kitten, put 10 of those lengths on him, so he only missed the place by a length in that spot. So now moving around 2 turns maybe gives him a little bit of a chance if he gets away slowly to recover there. And even though it's just a completely fluky stat, there's nobody you want in the finale at Fairgrounds more than apprentice Mitchell Murrell. He's hitting with an almost $6 ROI in the last race of the day.
In the last that is a fluky stat, but it's worth paying attention to, I suppose, because I think typically the last race of the day, condition-wise, tends to be fairly similar. Maybe not day to day, but certainly week to week. You know, like on Thursdays or Fridays, from week to week, they may be similar. So maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know, a lot of our last race of the day for that 50 cent super high 5, they can be low-level Louisiana bred maiden claimers, low-level condition claimers. But yeah, I mean, just started noticing it over the last handful of weeks. But yeah, you would have almost tripled your money if you bet every horse he's ridden in the last of the day this season.
That's funny. All right. Well, Brian, as always, we certainly appreciate the visit and the thoughts for this afternoon. So good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.